Welcome to episode 55 of Tech Over Tea. I am, as always, your host, Brody Robertson, and today we have a returning guest. Today we have Christian Lemper back on the show, otherwise known as The Digital Life. The last time he was on the show, his channel was considerably smaller than it is now, and you've kind of massively exploded. It's still like a fairly small channel, but compared to where you were before, like 4 months ago, was it? It's a massive growth.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here again. So
it's awesome
really
to have you back on the show,
thanks
man.
for inviting me. Yeah, I always enjoyed these live streams and recordings and podcasts. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I did notice.
But I wouldn't say.
Sorry.
I wouldn't say my channel exploded, but it's been. Yeah, then it has a consistent growth, so I'm pretty happy about it.
That's good. Well, I have noticed that you have been doing some various. Was it a live stream? Yes, it was a live stream. A live stream with some other people here and there. Is that the only one, or have you done more? Yeah, I've done more.
Yeah, I usually do it weekly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently doing 2 live streams weekly. Mm-hmm. So first one is like a talking live stream. I talk about a specific topic or just random stuff about IT, tech stuff, and what else, right? And do it in form of a Q&A. Mm-hmm. People can come in and ask me questions, and I try to answer them. And the next day, I usually do some Code Wars live streams. So I'm doing some programming challenges because that's something I want to focus this year to become better in Python. And yeah, at some point, maybe JavaScript, something like this. Because I don't have so much experience with programming. Yeah. I'm not a professional developer. I never was. But I think a lot of people are interested in programming these days. I think that's really important in IT. Mm-hmm. And yeah, therefore I take a look at this, and hopefully this also helps other people because they can see me struggle with some beginner challenges on Code Wars. Yeah, that's how you do it. But since I started this, like I think 3 or 4 months ago, maybe even 3, I kind of feel that I really improved a lot with these challenges. So I had some programming experience in PHP before and also in Python. But I think the Code Wars challenges are really, really good for learning. So therefore, I just do it live on a stream, and people can also help me when I'm struggling with a complex challenge, right? So yeah, that makes a lot of fun.
I've noticed a couple other people doing the sort of Code Wars stuff. Maybe not just Code Wars specifically, but like other of those, competitive programming things. I've considered doing it myself. I just haven't gotten around to it. It would be definitely a lot of fun. But I know that I have a lot of people who would be very quick to tell me how wrong I am doing stuff, and other people complaining that I'm just not writing C code because that's the sort of audience I have.
Oh yeah, I get that. So yeah, I'm also afraid of that. But literally, my experience is that most people are just smarter than I am. It's just the truth. But they are really helpful. So they really give me good advices. Mm-hmm. And I always learn something from these live episodes. And I also think probably if a beginner looks at this, you will probably think, okay, maybe I should also take a look at this. And I also think it's worth like not just solving the challenges as fast as you can, but do some conversation in these live streams. So that's something that I needed to figure out. Because that's not really easy, because you need to focus on the challenge, but you also need to focus somehow on the chat and do a conversation with the guys. And it takes a long time to solve a challenge because you're always having a conversation. But I think that's important so that people can actually not just follow you, but can connect with you, and you can talk about other things in the stream as well. And once the challenge is over and I have found a solution or I solved the challenge, we also take a closer look at some of the other solutions and talk about what is the most efficient one. And that also is very interesting because you can learn a lot from other people's code, and that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I as I said, I should definitely look into it. Just have not got around to it because I'm trying some new stuff out with my live streams, because for a while I was just sort of doing very, very much the same sort of stuff. It was just like, okay, I'm going to do a Q&A, I'm going to do a game stream, I'm going to do this, and then I just like cycle them. But now I'm sort of trying new stuff out, and you actually joined one of my really weird streams that was happening the other day.
I think I joined this one, right?
Yeah. That was a bizarre stream. I was like, you know what?
I was a bit confused. I don't know what's the topic for today, but it was kind of interesting. And I saw, whoa, there are a lot of concurrent viewers on this stream. So I think you had a very good success with that.
It wasn't as high as the one I did before, but it's still higher than previous before that. Because the one I did before that, I was actually going through Vim Tutor, and I guess people wanted to come along for that one. And as you were saying with the programming one, I'm very bad with Vim, so having people there who are like really good with something like that, and then every time you get to a point where maybe the tutorial isn't the best way to do it, they can be like, here's a much better way you can actually do it that's far more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. It can be frustrating sometimes. So the first Code War streams I did, they were really, really frustrating, to be honest, because I felt like a complete dumb beginner. And it's like, it's horrible. But I think sometimes you just need to experiment with a channel and which content you want to make. I did a lot of things with live streaming. I tried to make live streams on Twitch with Code Wars. That didn't work at all because you have like zero discoverability on Twitch. And if you're a really small channel, that's not going to work, right? At least if you're just streaming once a week, that's just not enough for Twitch. You probably would need to go live every day or every weekday. And I cannot just do that. So I switched back to YouTube and kind of experimented. And there were some live streams, especially the Code Wars live streams, where I think you can easily be distracted by something, and that can hurt like the viewing experience a lot. So my experience was when I'm just focusing on these challenges and I try to solve them, and I think, what could be the solution? Trial and error for like 1 or 2 hours. People are not going to follow it. They are not going to watch it because it's just zero entertainment. Yeah, that's not really fun to watch. And I think it's a really hard part to find that balance between entertainment and educational stuff, especially with the content that we do on our channels. I think you found your perfect balance between that with the content you're doing on YouTube, because it's entertainment and educational stuff, I would say, and it's a perfect balance for you. You found your schedule with I think daily content. I don't really know.
Way too many.
Yeah,
videos.
I don't know how you're doing this, but it's perfect. And I'm currently struggling a bit finding my own balance with making videos and live streams. So I'm experimenting a lot, but yeah, I kind of see there is a natural progression in my channel. It's just like I probably need a few more weeks and months to decide where I actually want to go, because I have also too many topics, I think, and I really need to focus on a few specific ones. And then I think it's okay to have an experiment phase in the beginning and try to check where your content fits in. But yeah.
So before we get like too deep into stuff like that, for anyone who didn't see the last time you were on the podcast or has never heard of your channel before, what do you actually do on your podcast? I'm going to introduce you 8 minutes into the show. Yeah, we'll do that. Sure, why not? What do you actually do on your channel for anyone who doesn't know? Because I do like the content. I don't check it out super often, but there are a couple of videos here and there I do definitely watch myself.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, man. Yeah, so my channel is I would say, a channel for IT professionals. So I really try to cover the business side of IT. And I try to share my own experience, what I did in the field. And I try to make tutorials that help people step into complex topics in IT. So, for example, I did a lot of videos with Docker and containerization. So that's definitely a technology that I see is becoming really, really important in IT. Every company, every business is using containerization. You see it everywhere. And I also try to step into some DevOps related topics, like so how to deploy those containers. And I soon want to start with something like container orchestration and cloud content as well. So I think that fits perfectly in the trends I see in the IT industry that I think are important technologies. And my idea is that I think that traditional IT training or IT training courses, probably don't have all the capabilities to educate and teach people that stuff, because there are too many tools out there, right? If you want to get started with DevOps or networking sysadmin these days, there are a lot of different tools, and there's really huge amount of content, and people don't really know what they should focus on, what they should need to learn. And I try to steer a path for people who want to become IT professionals and really take that to the next level and want to see what technologies and content they want to focus on. So that's the main purpose, or the main reason why I do this channel.
Another thing you're saying about, or another thing with the course structure you normally see in a lot of like the IT sort of courses, while you can teach like the fundamentals that don't really change too much, the specific technologies, because of how fast moving the tech industry is, are going to change very quickly. While there will be things like Docker that probably will stick around for quite a while, there's going to be other tools here and there which may just become completely irrelevant within 2 or so years.
Oh yeah, that's true. And I think that really changed the last 10 or 15 years extremely. Because if you go back in times of probably when I started my IT career, there were, of course, also training courses around. YouTube was also around. But that was not really used for educational IT content at this time. And the only chance you had was like get IT certifications, usually in networking, Cisco CCNA, for example. And yeah, you need to go through these IT training courses. You sit there and watch a PowerPoint presentation for like 5-6 hours, a few days or so. And then you try to remember what was taught in the and you somehow try to apply this in your day-to-day work. And I think this is really hard. And especially with the latest changes and the fast evolving technologies and tools we currently have, I think that's just not enough to educate people. Sometimes people just need an inspiration of, well, here's a tool you can use for this purpose, for example. Let me show you how this works. And you just do a 15-minute video hands-on. I think these hands-on or project-related courses are really important, because people probably can see, okay, these tools or technologies are important, but they don't know how to use them. And it's not really helping you to sit there and go through a 5 or 6 hours training course, because that's a lot of time that can be wasted or spent on other projects or things as well. And sometimes it's enough to just show people how this stuff works. So I really like to do these hands-on tutorials and sit down and share my screen and say, okay, here's a tool like Vagrant that can automate provisioning of virtual machines on your workstation. So here's how you do that. So create a configuration file, let's run the code and see how that works. And sometimes that's just enough to get people started. And because in the end, you also need to do your own research and trial and error and testing, because that's how you learn how to use that tool really. And that's what I try to focus on. I think that's really important these days. And yeah, I try to be part of that and try to help and educate people as much as I can. And also, I'm learning a lot from these researches and tutorials as well, because there's a lot of stuff that I never covered. For example, Kubernetes or container orchestration. That's something I want to get started with, but it's literally hard for me to do this. And one thing that I realized when stepping into this topic was like, okay, there are a lot of getting started tutorials on the internet. So here's a tool how you can install Kubernetes, and this is also pretty complex, right? It's horrible to install this. I mean, you can easily do this on a small test machine. There are some commands, 3, 5, 4 commands you can execute, and then you have a small Kubernetes machine running. But how can you really use that in the real world? How can you build a project with 2 machines or with 3 machines? How are you going to deploy this? And then it gets really, really hard to find good tutorials that teach you this hands-on project stuff. And that's what I want to make. This is what I want to create, because I think there's something or a gap that needs to be filled by someone.
Yeah, no, I entirely get that. That's sort of the same gap that I was trying to fill with what I'm doing, because while there's a lot of people who do, not obviously to the same sort of extent where it's like building projects, but with a lot of these various Linux applications out there's a lot of people who just do these very high level approaches, or very high level looks at it, and sort of assume that the people who are actually watching those videos already know everything about like okay, here's how you actually configure it. Here are where the config files are located. Here's all this stuff that's sort of fundamental to how it actually works. A lot of the other content that was out there when I first started making the channel just didn't really cover that. There was a couple of little channels, but none of the big ones did at all. Now a lot of the big ones don't even really do the same sort of content anymore. They've sort of gone their own direction. So now I've opened up the niche to myself. But I think that actually does really help a lot of people. The other thing is with the researching actually helping you out a lot. And that's something I've found a lot as well, where even if I did sort of need to know about something like this, it's a lot harder to sort of justify that time expenditure when I'm just learning it and I might need it in the future. When I'm sort of learning it because, okay, I want to educate other people and I want to make this video on it, it sort of gives me a reason to actually push myself to go and actually work on that thing right now rather than just delaying it till later, basically.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I also have like a study or learning plan created for myself, but I'm kind of lazy, so I mainly just focus on stuff that I need for the next 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
That's how it is, right? And having a real video schedule that helps me because I know I need to focus on this video for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes I work on a video like 3 weeks with all the researching stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that I need to look at and I want to make it right. And yeah, that's really helping me to keep focused as well.
So you're asking about my schedule before. The way that I've got it structured right now is I do 6 videos a week and then a live stream. That's just for the main channel. We ignore the fact that I do a bunch of other stuff on my second and third channel as well. Because the gaming channel is basically I want to get drunk on the weekend and play video games, so I don't exactly consider that work. And then the podcast is kind of work, really. Not really, though. I just sit here for 2 hours talking to someone. I guess it's work. I have to put some effort into coming up with some topics and arranging guests, but really, the main meat of the channel is, or the main meat of my content is actually planning out the videos for the main channel and sort of, even the recording doesn't take that long. I'm sort of I'm kind of a perfectionist with it. I know that at some point I sort of have to make the video. So even if the recording is kind of decent, I'll still probably re-record it because it's not as good as I want it to be. I will realize like a month later it was awful anyway, but that sort of comes with actually like growing and getting better at making content. I want it to be good.
Yeah.
When I upload something, I want it to be something that is good today. I'm fully aware that it won't be good tomorrow, so I'm not going to worry about whether it's good tomorrow. If it's good now, it's good now, and that's sort of what I want. So yeah, I've considered dropping to like 5 videos a week and then maybe taking a day off, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try that out going through this year, or maybe I'll just add another live stream or something. I don't know. I like the content every single day structure I've got going on right now, and I'm not at all running out of content, and there's nothing in my life that's really stopping me from doing this much work anyway. So I don't know. I'll probably keep up with it as it goes. I'm not exactly working much during my day job anyway. It's just enough there to pay my extra bills.
Yeah, that's fine. I think everybody needs to find his own schedule that fits perfectly. And I think you cannot just say, well, this works for this person, this schedule works for another person. That's completely depending on the type of person you are and also on the content. So for example, if I would want to make daily videos, it wouldn't work with a schedule because I spend too much time on production, editing and all this stuff. And that would be nearly impossible to do daily content. Because I would need to somehow reduce the quality of my videos. And I don't know how you're doing this because you're making so great videos every single day. I don't know how you can do this. For me, it definitely doesn't work because I tried to do a second video at a week, and this puts me under so much stress that I couldn't make this video at all. And I was completely stressed that weeks, and I thought, no, I need to reduce it back to 1 video per week because I really want to focus on it. And I'm doing a lot of editing. Maybe that's just my personal preference because I like to do
much more
editing
than I do. That does definitely take much, and your videos in some cases are way longer.
Yeah, that's true. I found out my last videos were very, very short, and I thought,
yeah,
well, this is
around my
probably
length
something.
now.
Yeah, and I just wanted to experiment with that, but I recognized that's not going so well. So I need to increase the duration of the videos again, and need to put in more effort into the next videos. I kind of realized that. I just wanted to experiment which content I can make, but I found out that people are really rewarding that, or these longer tutorials, these really deep dive, hands-on project content tutorials. And I think, well, I just need to put more effort into the next videos and more time. I really focused too much on things like going to change a font, going to change a transition, and all this stuff. And you can get really distracted by this stuff. And I think that's a bad habit you can get as a content creator, that you're focusing probably on stuff that is nearly unimportant to the viewer. I mean, it is, the viewer will notice the difference for sure. So when you do a lot of editing, you do a lot of professional editing, the viewer will see a difference, but that's not as important as the content. The content is really the most important part. And I think if people can get value out of a video, they will watch it. And that value can be different depending on the type of audience you have. And that's something that I probably struggled a bit the last time, finding out what my audience really wants to watch. And yeah, so that's what I need to get better at. But I think I got an idea. I have a plan for my next videos. They will be a bit more complex, a bit more researching and hands-on stuff. And yeah, I hope that that's working better then. But yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up with that, and finding your balance, finding your schedule that works for you.
I think the thing when it comes to editing is very much it's an optimization game. So while you could probably spend like an entire week editing a single video, at some point, are you really adding anything of value to it? For example, like I think most of what you would get from your video could probably be achieved by having your intro there, having the little animated thing at the start, making sure like any cuts you have are cut really cleanly. And that's most of what people are going to notice. There might be little other things, like maybe you have some like on-screen images that show up while you're talking, things like that, which could enhance the video to an extent, but the vast majority of what's going to come from that are the very, very obvious things that get added.
Yeah, that's true. And I kind of realized that when I watch back at my earliest videos, because the best performing video on my channel is, I think, the second video or so. And that the quality is really, really bad. And the way how I speak, how I present it is completely different from what I do now, but it's still the best performing video. So there's a reason behind it. And I think this video is a very special one because it teaches you how to set up a mail server on Linux. And this is kind of a very complex topic. So I guess a lot of people were searching for this. This is, I mean, I had discussions with people about this last live streams. If you really want to set up a mail server yourself and really want to maintain that. And I kind of, to be honest, I also switched my self-hosted mail server solution to a software as a service one, because it's just too much work for maintenance. But I think if you're just starting, you probably don't want to afford or just want anybody else to host your mails. You can definitely use that solution. It's fairly easy to set up. And I think that video brought a lot of value to people as they were searching for a very complex solution, and they found a very easy one they can just apply on their servers. And I think this is why this video performed very well. So it was a topic, but it also was like, it was a complex project. And I think that's what I want to focus on more in the future. So showing complex problems or projects like setting up a server, or I also have other topics in mind, like how to back up a server or how to protect a server. They can really get like 30 minutes long or so, these videos.
Yeah,
when I step into something like
you could make like an entire just tutorial series just on one of those topics.
Yeah, absolutely. At some point, you somehow need to simplify it a little bit, but that's a hard part to find out which things you can simplify and which you should take a little bit more time to get into things. But yeah, that's what I try to figure out for the next videos. That's my plan.
Yeah, I want to start doing some less bigger videos. It's more like I want to take on bigger topics as videos. So for example, I want to eventually look at something like BSD, and I want to look at Emacs, and these, if I'm going to do videos on topics like that, I'm going to have to put like a good amount of effort to actually have a proper understanding of it. I don't want to just be like, hey, here's a very introductory video to Emacs. I might do like a first impressions video. That's a video that has value in and of itself. See what it's like for someone who's just a completely new user who has no idea what they're doing with it would actually experience. But if I want to do like proper in-depth videos on it, that's sort of an application or the operating system in the case of BSD that you have to put a lot of effort into. And I haven't just found the time to sit down and properly do that yet. But that's something I would absolutely love to do.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value and potential in this, because you just mentioned like you could do a video that just introduces a beginner to Emacs or so, or just do a comparison video, or just a first impression video of a Linux distro. But I think that's what everybody's doing. That's especially what bigger YouTubers are doing. And I think especially for smaller channels, because I would consider our channel still as smaller compared to the majority of bigger Linux YouTubers, for example. I think we have a very hard time doing videos on these topics. And I think this is really dangerous, because you see that on bigger channels and see, oh, they are always doing those distro reviews. They are always doing those beginner tutorials on how to install Emacs and how to exit Vim or so, right?
I should do it. No, actually, I should do a YouTube short on how to install Vim. Just
you could do this, right?
Hackman-S because Vim end the video. Actually, I want to get into shorts in just a bit, actually.
Yeah, let's talk about this as well. But I just want to finish this part, and then we probably can talk about this. Yeah, so you could do videos about this, like the bigger channels do, because you also see, oh, they are successful with this kind of content. So I try to make the same kind of videos, because I also want to be successful. But then you have like, you're not diversifying enough from these bigger channels, and you got a problem, especially as a small channel, because you usually are worse in production value in making videos because you have less experience than these bigger YouTubers, because there's a reason why they are big, because they are just good, right? That's just the truth. You just need to accept this, I think. And then you have a very hard time competing with them. So I found you're always doing better with videos that have more value, or that can add something on top of these videos. And as you said, like, do a really deep dive into something like Emacs or explaining, right? You probably need to do a lot of researching before you are at this point to make a really good video. But then you have a video that is providing more value than all these other videos, and that's performing then better, I guess. And I think that's the only way how you can differentiate from bigger channels, or how you can get competitive, that you add something on top of this, or you make content in a different way, how the bigger channels are doing this, right? So, oh yeah, and you wanted to talk about shorts videos.
Yeah, YouTube shorts. That's I haven't really experimented with them much in a while, just because I'm the same reason why I don't have like a TikTok. It's because I don't have ideas that fit into a minute. I have some ideas recently I want to try out. Like, one of them, I want to sort of mock the idea of a distro review. Basically, because every distro review basically sounds like the same thing. They'll talk about the default applications installed, how great the wallpaper looks, and this is an idea I got from HexDSL, but he didn't. I gave him time to make the video. He didn't make it, so now it's my idea. I'm going to basically show pictures of different distros for every single thing I show, and just pretend like it's the same thing.
Ah, that's nice. That's something you probably can easily make in a short form tutorial or a short form video. I kind of experimented with that myself, and the one short video I did wasn't performing bad, so it was okay. Surprisingly, it got a little bit of more traction the last weeks, even though it was like a few months old. I don't know why. It's the YouTube algorithm is sometimes a bit strange, I would say.
4K views. Wow.
but it can happen. And I also started to do some other short form content on other platforms like Instagram and TikTok, because I just wanted to see what's going on these platforms. I really was never interested in these platforms before I started a YouTube channel at all, because yeah, social media, that's something I probably have completely missed the last years. And now I start looking at it, I think, wow, that's really great. You can do a lot of things there. So TikTok is a very special platform, yeah. So I think TikTok has a very bad image. And that for a reason. I mean, if you install this and look the first videos and watch that, you probably will see, oh man, there's so much garbage stuff there. Why should I continue watching this, right? It's kind of really strange. But then I did a little research. I tried to search for specific hashtags, for example, DevOps, Linux, coding, something like this. And you really find good content, good videos. And that's really interesting because you can put a lot of stuff into a 60-second video. And then TikTok starts suggesting me other videos like this. And I find, okay, this platform is interesting because it shows me some interesting videos. Okay, there's still a lot of garbage content.
A lot of garbage.
But you can just scroll, right? You can swipe it up and then the next video starts. And you can find some really interesting videos there. And I started to do some TikTok videos myself. Of course, they are not performing very well, but
TikTok and you're not doing really dumb dances.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, I said this on a live stream before. I said, like, well, I see there is a problem in educational IT content because I think people don't have the time to sit on a 4-6 hour training course. They probably have time to watch a 15-30 minute video, but sometimes you just need to inspire people. Sometimes you need to have an idea that you can easily spread out to people and say, hey, here's a cool tool. You might take a look at this. And that's just enough to get people started. So why not make a short video of showing a simple trick or a simple tool or just doing a very simple thing that just inspires people to take a look at this and get deeper into this topic? And I said, like, well, these platforms like TikTok, they have a good potential of doing this because they have a great platform to spread out content like this. The problem is the bad image and the other content they have, but you can either complain about this being a bad platform, or you can do the second and do your best to make this a better place and create educational, valuable content yourself, right? And try to make it better. And that's what I want to do. I just don't want to complain about something. I want to do something against it.
Yeah, one of the things TikTok is really good at is recommending stuff that will make you keep watching videos, because that's their entire business model. So if you're not watching the cringy meme videos and you're watching nothing but coding videos, they will keep giving you coding videos. Even if there's not many on the platform, they will give you every single one of them they can possibly find. And that,
exactly, yeah.
That I don't know. I have considered trying it out. Once again, it's like with the shorts thing. If I start doing shorts, I'll probably put them on Instagram and TikTok anyway, because there's no harm in doing it. Like it's basically the same format of content. So I see, like, where does it perform better or anything like that, because I don't have any following on TikTok, no account at all. And Instagram, I think there's like 80 people following me. I don't really use
same for me, man.
Oh yeah,
it's the same for me.
I should use it,
I mean,
but
the strange thing about TikTok, for example, is I just started to do a few videos, like 7-8 videos, and I started with 0 followers, and now I got 36 or so in just a week. I mean, that's literally nothing for social media platform, but just for a start, it shows me that there are people liking and watching this or following this, even if they're just like, those videos get like 160 views. That's nothing, right? On TikTok.
Well, for 36 followers, that doesn't make any sense, because TikTok's a weird platform like that.
Yeah, But it's interesting. Like if you get a video or you make one video with 160 views, and you got like 11 and 20 likes out of these views, and like 5 or 6 followers, that's a good performance for this video, I would say. Because on YouTube, if you compare it to YouTube, it's how many views, likes, but it's like 6-10% or so. I don't really know how much.
I think you're right about that. There's definitely people on those platforms because most people have more than one interest. And there seems like there may be some sort of like desire for extra content on there outside of, just the dancing videos and just the comedy videos. Maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I'll just try spitballing, see some what Linux stuff maybe works over there. I don't know. It could go well.
Yeah.
Could completely flop. I don't know.
I mean, you can experiment. I think my idea is to just start experimenting this, and I see 2 potentials there. The first potential is I think that's a really new platform, so it is not really saturated as much. And I think there is an audience that wants to watch this content, because I've seen tech YouTubers or tech content on TikTok, people with even 100K followers on TikTok doing educational IT videos on YouTube. So I think there is an audience. You just need to make and provide value for that audience and take your advantage. And I think that's a fairly new platform. So of course, you're not going to convince somebody to switch over from YouTube to TikTok. That's nothing you should do. But the other way around would probably work. So you can just find new people on TikTok, probably younger people. But younger people also want to get started in IT. They are getting older, they want to get a job and so on. So there may be a potential audience for that. You can then transfer. So I always do videos like, well, here's a tool like Vagrant. You can automate your virtual machines. Here's how it looks like. Just 1-2 commands. If you want to learn more, just watch my YouTube video, right? That's how I'm planning this. But if it doesn't work at all, maybe I'm wrong about TikTok. Maybe this is just garbage content, right? Dancing videos and so on. Maybe, I don't know. But even if this is the case, I can take these short videos and maybe just upload them to YouTube once YouTube finalizes their viewing experience for shorts. Because I think currently this is just an experiment of YouTube. They're experimenting how they can compete with Instagram, TikTok, and mainly those 2 platforms, because they see, okay, there's a lot of potential there. You can also see that a lot of things change on these social media platforms. Like Twitter, for example, is getting kind of monetization or membership program.
Twitter is actually also testing a Twitter stories thing as well.
Yeah, you can upload fleets already. So that's a story on Twitter. And you see, all social media platforms are growing and experimenting with this, right? I think YouTube has created a very good system for long form videos and monetization and live streams, but they want to experiment with other form content as well, with the short form content, and therefore they try to find out what people are watching, how they are watching it, and I think they will finalize it in this year and maybe bring out a new feature. I don't know. I don't have any insights. It's just an assumption, but that would be the natural progress, I would think, right? Because they experiment a lot before they change something on the platform. So I think there's a lot of stuff that will come on YouTube as well. But yeah, I kind of like the idea to somehow be on multiple platforms, because if something happens, right, we don't know what will happen. You still have an audience somewhere, and you still can connect to your audience. I mean, I think at some point, all platforms will have some opportunity or some potential for delivering those watching experience, like short form, long form, and live streams. I think that will be the 3 key things that you should somehow deliver stuff to. And which platform that will be, that's up to you. I mean, on TikTok, you can also do live streams. I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, the experience is completely garbage, because they are not suggesting you good live streams. They are just suggesting you live streams within your region and country. That's something that I don't like about TikTok. And I have a very big problem, because I'm from Germany and I'm making English videos. When I upload a video to TikTok, that's still just delivered to German people. Because of the region where I upload this video, I found, or I did some research, because you probably can use a VPN
Yeah, I was gonna say.
to fake your country. I tried that, but that didn't work. And I think that's because I also read some information of people like it sometimes works, sometimes not. Sometimes depending on the country where you created the account, it's. I don't like this. I think TikTok needs to really be better with this because obviously with my content that's not ideal, right? I make English videos that's been delivered to German people. I don't know. I mean, in tech, there are a lot of German people who watch my videos in English as well, but probably not the majority. So I don't know how this will work, but yeah.
Well, in tech, knowing English is sort of a fairly common thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, so that's probably not
It's not the
a
worst
no-go.
situation you could be in.
Yeah, that's right. But it's not ideal because I decided to make English content because I thought that would be a bigger audience and I could spread my content to more people. And that's true. If I watch the YouTube statistics, I see people are watching my content from all over the world. So that works out very well. And yeah, for TikTok, that doesn't seem to work.
That's bizarre. I didn't know TikTok was set up like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, but I think it's still a fairly new platform, and I think this is kind of a very special case that I do, and hopefully they are improving that at some point. I don't know. I heard about there is a special time, so when your video gets a potential of virality, like this video is really, really good performing in your region, that's tested in other regions as well. But that video, I think you really need to have like 100K views or likes on that video until this happens. So I'm probably not going to hit that threshold with my videos, actually. But I still think, I mean, TikTok is an experiment. If this does work, I can take the content and distribute it to YouTube Shorts. Maybe if they... I would really like to see YouTube doing something like Instagram, because Instagram is really differentiating their Reels from their Instagram TV and stories, so they have a clear separation between that. And I think this is something YouTube definitely needs to do, especially for live streams, because I absolutely hate when I do shorts or live streams, they're always showing up in the feed of your videos.
Yeah.
And people are not going to find the videos anymore because this is full of live streams and short videos, especially if you're just doing one video per week like I do. So
it's actually kind of worse if I'm doing, because if I upload a short, it's going to take the spot of the video I uploaded that day. So if someone didn't get the first recommendation, they'll now get recommended a short, and they won't see the original video I put out. At least with you can sort of like adjust. You can like move them throughout the week, so you don't upload a short the same day that you upload a video. In my case, though, that can't really be done. But I agree. They shouldn't all just be smashed into one box together. That doesn't make any sense.
The problem is especially how short videos work on other platforms. I think that's going to be the same on YouTube as well, because if you make a TikTok video, or well, I watched a few recommendation videos, or I usually just go to YouTube, watch a few of those how to grow on Instagram, how to grow on TikTok videos, right? Watch 2 or 3 of them, and I kind of then I unsubscribe them again because I got my value. But it's like everybody who's making these videos is recommending, like, you should do 1 story per day. You should do 1 video per day. Or maybe on TikTok, even like the best is to put out 3-4 videos per day. This is horrible. I mean, how could you do this? But then, so I think short form content is really, really fast. And it's much faster than making long form videos, obviously. So if I would want to make short videos on YouTube, my full feed would be filled up with shorts and not with the real videos, and that would be really, really bad. So I'm not going to upload all short videos to YouTube that I'm creating on TikTok. So I may from time to time upload 1 or 2. I don't really know. It's like I'm kind of experimenting.
God, 3 videos a day. I think that explains why there's no creativity on TikTok. How do you be creative when you make 3 videos a day? That's let's just assume you never take a day off. 21 videos a week.
It's crazy. I mean, probably you can create those videos in advance. That's how people do it.
No, but you
On
got to be
TikTok,
like, if you're gonna be doing the dancing videos, they have to be like directly on trend right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know how this is working, but maybe this is just an advice for bigger channels. I don't really know.
Yeah. Now, the funniest thing I always find is whenever there's a channel on YouTube about how to grow a YouTube channel that only has like 10k subs, it's like, should I be taking your advice?
Yeah, that's funny. I think sometimes you can get value out of this because maybe those people have like a social media company doing this for other channels or for other
in that
companies.
case, it's a bit different. Yeah,
create that may be, but yeah, I think, to be honest, I don't like most of this content at all because they are just giving the same advices.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can literally watch 2 or 3 videos, and the other stuff I think you need to make your own experience anyway, because I think especially some of the tips are very depending on the type of content you make. And I think especially for tech channels, tech content, we have a very special audience, we have a very special form and type of content. Some advices may not work for our channels. So I think there are some things you can get out of these videos, like how to edit a video, how to set up your lighting, camera, and all this stuff, obviously. But most of the advices I watched is like, find your niche, find your topic, and
niche
all
topic.
This stuff.
Be yourself.
Thumbnail, title.
Make sure you be yourself. Yeah. That's very important.
Oh yeah, whatever that means, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is like an advice you can. I watch a German streamer who is on Twitch, and he makes also videos about how to become a streamer, how to grow on Twitch, and so on. And he said like, being yourself can really be a bad advice to somebody.
Oh yeah, no. Because I'm gonna give anyone who wants to start a channel right now, don't be yourself because you're boring. You gotta actually.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to sort of. Like, I know that I'm like fairly high energy in a lot of my videos and I'm talking like I'm trying to present stuff to you. I don't actually talk like this in the real world because that would be really, really annoying.
Yeah.
Don't be yourself because you probably have no idea how to speak on camera. You have to sort of...
Yeah, that
doesn't mean like be a fake person or anything like that, but you have to sort of make some adjustments to the way you speak and the way you actually... the way you talk, the way you speak and the way you talk, those are the exact same thing. The way you speak and the way you present, to actually make it so you can get your point across, especially in like a concise way. Because I find that in real life, I'm very bad at getting straight to the point of what I'm trying to say. And that doesn't exactly work if you're trying to do fairly concise videos. So no, don't be yourself. Bad idea. Anyway, back to this German streamer who also says don't be yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
I like this guy.
But that is exactly what he said, right? That's exactly what he said. It's like he says like you probably need to be the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
That is something that is a real advice. Like of course, you don't want to be a fake person. For example, something that people start doing, they see all those bigger YouTubers or streamers, and they are really extrovert people. Like, hey, here is how to set up Linux. And you try
I would love
to
a Linux channel like that, actually.
I've seen tech channels doing this kind of videos, right? At least
I just want to see someone like sitting at the terminal, like running SSH and just being like, "Wow, yes, let's go!"
Completely enraging, like here's Vim.
That's an idea for a short. I like that.
Well, we can clip it and upload it to TikTok.
Yeah, that'll work.
That probably would work. Yeah, but that is really that wouldn't work. I mean, people are recognizing that this is not you, right? But you need to try to improve, of course, a few things, right? I mean, before being on YouTube, I never had any experience with being on camera. I never liked this. I'm a very introvert guy, right? And surprisingly, a lot of YouTubers are. That's kind of funny, right? I hear that from a lot of people on YouTube or on social media as well.
That's because they find it easy to talk when there's no one else around. Like, I can talk for hours to a camera. That's fine. Put me in front of a group of people. I don't know what to do.
Oh yeah, same for me. And that's really interesting. But yeah, of course you need to practice this, and you need to somehow watch your own videos and try to improve. But yeah, that is.
Yeah, that actually,
I don't
right,
know how
that's a
we
really
got this.
big one for a lot of people. Actually go back and look at your videos. Not just
Oh
when
yeah.
you edit it, like you don't have to go back and watch the entire thing, but go back to like an older video and just see what you were doing there. Like, because I've had some pretty bad habits with like waving my arms around way too much. I still do have like a naturally arm wavy way of talking, but
Mm.
I've seen some old videos where like every time I would start a sentence, I was doing this. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop that. That's dumb.
Yeah.
And I have to like catch myself when I'm doing that. Like obviously, like it still does help to sort of emphasize a point, but there's a point where it sort of becomes really annoying when you're doing that and
Yeah.
things like that.
I had
Or
the same habit, by the way. And I recognized it when I watched some of my videos, and I thought, well, it's really distracting. What the hell am I doing there? I try to reduce it at the next video. So you always should try to become better with your
Yeah.
next video, obviously. You probably won't, because you also need to try out new things and experiment. But you need to go back, review this, and adjust things. And then obviously you get better at some point.
I don't remember what the quote is. There's something about like a 1% improvement every day compounds over a year. I don't remember the exact quote, but if you try to improve yourself a little bit every single day, while the day-to-day improvement is going to be very, very minor, over a year, over 2 years, you'll see that you are basically not even the same person by the end of it.
Oh yeah. And definitely, I mean, something like running a YouTube channel is a long-term project. I mean, that's also something that you will need to take in consideration every time you do stuff, yeah, because you think like probably you are now engaged and you're exciting about a topic, and you have like enough content to make for next weeks or month, but that may not be the same for the next year or in 2 years. So you all also should take care of this. And I think especially if you're starting a YouTube channel, you really should ask yourself, does this make fun? Do I want to make this in 2 years still? Because that's how it works. Because people are just, or I also did the same mistake, because I started the YouTube channel. I thought, okay, I'm doing this for half a year now, so now I should get some traction. This should work now, and I tried to put all my energy and all my effort into making this stuff work. And then I realized, okay, if I continue to do that, I will burn out in like a few months. So I need to settle down a bit, and I need to think of the long-term goal and where I want to be with my channel in the next year, or which content or topics I want to focus the next year on, because it's a long run. Yeah, and if you overestimate yourself, I mean you will burn out pretty fast. It's really not that easy. So yeah, you always need to think of this is a long-term project, and yeah, getting or being 1% better the next day, that will help you exactly over the whole period of time you're doing this stuff.
Yeah, burnout is a problem I've definitely dealt with myself. Like, even though I'm making, I guess, more videos than I was before, I've now structured my schedule in a way that actually gives me days off. And even if you're making, let's just say you make 7 videos for just one. Let's just say every video or every day you upload 1 video. It's a very different way to structure your week, to bulk record a bunch of stuff at the start of the week, edit it, like get everything done by Friday, and then take the weekend off, compared to record, edit, upload every single day. I used to do the record, edit, upload every day, and that felt so much more stressful, because you realize you never have time to just not make a video. And that's one of the problems that a lot of people seem to make when they sort of start out. They're just always thinking about YouTube. They're just it's never taking a break from their channel. I still sort of have a problem with it, with like paying too much attention to my analytics, but I still take those days where I'm just like, okay, I am not going to make any videos today. I'm not going to plan any videos. Maybe I'll like talk to people in the community. That is the extent of what I'm doing with YouTube, but nothing else.
I think that is really important. So probably an advice I can give that worked out pretty well for me is always seeing this like a job, because it is the job, and probably you're starting with a goal that you want to make this a living at some point. Yeah, maybe after 3 or 4 years of being a YouTuber, something like a goal you can set yourself for, right? And I think I always started to see this as a job. So I'm working on YouTube from Monday till Friday, and Saturday, Sunday is for family time, and I don't really work on videos. Of course, I think about this YouTube.
Yeah.
I think I have ideas in the shower, right, about a new video or something like this, and then you are after finishing, you need to go and write down this idea somewhere. So that's important. You probably can stop really thinking about it, but that's okay. I think that's not the issue. The issue is to become stressed by that. So, and I think one idea or one thing that I do that always helped me is to kind of implement a workflow. That's something that I actually also do at work, right? I have some programs or tools that I use to do that. I just recently switched to Office 365 products. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but that's how I usually do that at work.
It's fine. You use whatever you want. It doesn't bother me in the end.
Yeah.
It's not my computer.
I know, man. I know, man. But that's how I do this. I have the Microsoft Planner application. This is kind of a Kanban style of working this. So setting up my videos, setting up the schedule, and I also am planning time schedules a day. So every Monday I have a triage where I usually go through all the ideas and try to organize them and prioritize what video will come out the next 2 or 3 weeks and so on. And then I usually have some time slots where I work on videos, on thumbnails, editing. So I really kind of try to structurize this as much as I can, because then I can see, okay, this probably was a bit too much last week, so I need to adjust this and take a little bit of time away from this step. And then you can easily find your balance. And I think that's really important to structurize your workflow and your day. Because if you're just working on a video, that's, especially with everything that you are self-responsible for, that's really dangerous. Because if you're working at a 9-to-5 job, right? You're working like 8 hours a day, and then you're finished. You can go home and not think about this anymore. But if you're self-responsible, so you're making a YouTube channel, you can work 24/7 on this if you want.
For the record, it's 7 p.m. right now.
I
started at like 9.
And now here comes the dangerous part. It's going to help you. Because the more effort you put into something, you can make a new video that's bringing you viewers, that's generating more subscribers. So it's going to help you. So you try to put as much effort into this as you can. And this is the really dangerous part, because people burn out, I think, because there is no limitation. There's no limitation that's coming from outside. You need to find your own limits and your own limitation. So that's and that's probably the tricky part. I just recently had someone on my live stream, or also a smaller, medium YouTuber, I would say, right?
Bigger than you are.
Bigger than I am, but not really big as the really big YouTubers. And he said, like, he was really worried about answering comments. Like, he said, oh, he got a new comment on this video, I need to answer this immediately. And I thought, I never had a problem with this myself. I don't know why, but I said, like, maybe it is because I worked in IT support. I don't know. I usually deal a lot with queries coming in. But I usually don't answer a comment right away, immediately. I answer it 1 or 2 days after, because I think it's like people shouldn't expect an immediate answer from me, because that's a bad habit. You can also train people to expect this the next time they comment. So that can also hurt you then if you get bigger, right? In the beginning, you probably can answer all comments immediately, but then people are going to expect that every time, right? So I knew this. So I started, okay, I'm not going to train people that I answer it immediately, but I will answer every comment. Just 1 day after or so. And that's really helping, because then you can implement a schedule like every day at 9 a.m. or so, you can read all your comments and comment back. That's fine. So yeah, you really need to find your own way of how to deal with this stuff. And for some people, it's harder to do this. Other people are struggling with a complete different thing. It's really depending. But it's important that you need to find solutions or workflows or somehow a schedule to do that. So that's my experience.
I just answer all my comments on the toilet.
Yeah, sometimes also do this. I mean, it's like if I have time to fill in something, I do that. Sometimes I read my statistics on my phone. Maybe even after lunch or so.
Yeah.
Why not? If I have time, I can do that. But you just need to be careful that you don't do this too often. And I think you also said you were looking at your analytics too much in the beginning.
I definitely find that being a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I had this problem myself. So I didn't have a problem with answering comments or scheduling or workflowing, but with analytics. So that was my bad habit, right? Because I looked at analytics every day, multiple times. And there's a new like. I need to watch the analytics and compare it. It doesn't help you at all because
it doesn't. It's just you think it does. You're just like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you think it does, but it doesn't help you. I mean, the statistics are only relevant if you look after a longer period of time at this and see the average of watch time and so on. And you really should find a good tool that helps you with this. I can definitely say that because I played around with different tools and I just found one that really helps me to do more content, find a good title and thumbnail, and do some analytics on my channel. That's really helping you. You need to find some ways how to track this somehow yourself. And now I'm not looking at analytics every day anymore because I think that doesn't give me anything. But I still look at it. So at least once a week, I look at this.
I'm still in the stage of multiple times a day.
Yeah.
With I was saying before about how it's 7 p.m. here and I started at 9 a.m. The way, like, that might sound bad. It's not actually. I sort of take the the way that like a doctor would work or someone in the mines would work, where you do a couple of really long shifts. So I typically do like Monday to Wednesday. I like basically I work all day, and then Thursday, Friday are like light days. So it might sound really bad, but it's not as bad as it sounds.
That's interesting. I never tried this. So I like to have a schedule from Monday to Friday. I usually work 8 hours a day, and then I spend like 1 or 2 hours on my channel, and that works for me.
I think the thing that sort of got me into working like this is coming out of university, where you would have classes from 9 a.m. to whatever, like 5, 6 p.m. And then in the middle of it, I'd probably be working on assignments anyway. So the past 4 years, I've sort of been doing this anyway.
Oh, yeah. Then it's probably natural workflow you already implemented. I mean, I never was in university or so I don't know how that will work.
But I have cut out basically like weekends. Pretty much all I do is I might do a game stream. Like I don't do anything else related to the channel then.
I really would love to do a game stream myself as well. But I kind of find I don't have time to do that.
That's why I stream it. Exactly. That's the big brain approach.
Yeah, kind of. I would be frustrated if this gaming channel goes nowhere. So I would really like to see the same progression like on my tech channel, and then I cannot split myself to 2 different areas. So it was a hard decision I made because I would love to do gaming on Twitch or on YouTube as well, but I thought, well, you want to be successful on YouTube, or that you need to make a decision. You just can focus on one thing, and then
if you only have so much time in the day, then you sort of have to put your effort where you think is going to make the most sense.
That's right, yeah. But I would really sometimes I do like to go live on Twitch and play some games, but just for 1 or 2 hours in a month or so not really much. So that's working.
Well, that's good. Let's see. What else do we have on here? I am really shiny. Wow. That's bad. It's not that warm today. So I don't know why I'm this shiny, but I'm also not softening my lights. That's something I should do. Actually, you know what? We're gonna bore all of the people. Let's talk about cameras and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want to talk about. So.
So we'll say I don't think it was in the main recording. I think it was just in the sound check. The capture card you're using, because your camera looks
Oh yeah.
considerably better than mine. For anyone who doesn't know at this point, I've made it fairly obvious. I'm running this beautiful thing. This very cheap HDMI video capture stick that I paid $10 for on eBay. I've got 2 of them. They work. They capture video. Not well, as we can see, as having these 2 next to each other. I don't know how well it comes off, actually, because obviously YouTube, the video is going to be compressed as well. But your video is considerably less grainy than mine. I have a feeling that this thing might be compressing the video, and that's sort of introducing some extra artifacts into it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have seen some YouTube comparison videos about those capture cards, and I thought, right, okay, there are those USB sticks, but I really prefer to have something built into my PC.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like another device that's lying around somewhere, or a stick that is not really stable or something like this. I want to have a real card that's built into my PC. And therefore, I bought this. What did they say? This Ava Media Live Gamer HD 2 or so. So that's working very well.
Name.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how they came up with this.
Okay.
But it's working very well, because I wanted first I wanted to get an Elgato a capture card there, because they are state of the art in streaming, capturing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, well, they are pretty expensive, so I tried to search for something like that that's still a good quality, but is not so expensive. And I watched a comparison video that compared the Elgato capture card with the Ava Media, and they were saying like they probably even have kind of the same hardware specs, so that you don't see a difference between those cards. And then I thought, okay, then I take the cheaper one if it's a good quality, because I thought investing into the YouTube channel is a good idea at the right point. I need to say. So I started with like $100-$200 investment started, because that's something I also don't like. Most people are saying you don't need to invest any money into a YouTube channel. That's not true. You need to have at least something that you should invest in, right?
A lot of people invest at the wrong point and invest in the wrong things.
That is true. You need to be careful about it.
If you're just going to be using a webcam as like a camera, use your phone. It will look better. I guarantee it. You could use things like Droid Cam and actually like directly plug it into your system. It will be recognized as like a webcam, and it will look better than any webcam you possibly have out there. Please don't use a laptop webcam. I've done it before. It's a bad idea. It looks horrible. Especially don't use a laptop microphone.
Yeah.
Very much worse idea. The webcam you could tolerate, but the microphone not so much.
Exactly.
And if you're going to be buying stuff, do your research.
Yeah, that's true. So that is exactly what I did. So I think the most important thing on YouTube is the microphone. So that's the first thing you should invest in. And I think this is also the first thing that people need to invest, because usually you don't have a good quality microphone. So that doesn't mean you need to buy a microphone like this one here, or the thing that you got is also, I think, a really good microphone. I don't really know which model that is.
Fairly entry-level XLR microphone. It's an AKG P120. I think it's like 150 Australian. And then the mixer board is 300. And then the cable is $20. Oh, yeah. So you don't need to spend that much money.
Yeah, you don't need to start with that. So what I got is the Elgato Wave 1. And that's really a good choice for entry level. But I wouldn't say you need to start with this. I also got another microphone for like $40, and the quality was amazing. So that really was really good. And I did a research on some YouTube channels, watched some videos of audio experts who did a comparison video about cheap microphones, and they really recommended this one. I bought it, and it was awesome. It was a huge difference between my headset and this microphone. This is the first investment you should do, because the microphone is the most important part.
Yes. You can always ignore like you don't need to have a face cam. While the face cam is nice, you can have anything else there.
Yeah. I mean, you can even start with no camera when you do tutorial videos, like just do a monitor share screen. That's what I did. So my first videos, I didn't show on camera in my first videos. At some point, you probably want to show on camera, because I think that's really doing a lot of people can connect with you, and you can really build a better relationship with your audience and so on. So the camera is at this point important, but probably, as you said, you should invest at the right point. So for starting, I would say just get a good microphone. You can use your phone as your camera. That is what I did. And my phone even had a better resolution than my camera now has, because my phone had 4K. This was really good. And the main reason, I mean, that's not a secret, that you can research that on YouTube fairly easy. But the main reason why a camera looks bad is the lighting. So you get good lights. It doesn't need to be an Elgato expensive light, right? You can also get a cheap one. You can even sometimes use a lamp also, if you just play around with how you position. Sometimes the positioning of the lighting is much more important. Yeah, how you position that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, so you can definitely start with that. That's going to work. You just need to experiment a bit how you position the lights, and then you can get really good image. You can get good audio, and that's all you need to start, because your first videos will suck anyway. That's if you don't have any experience at all.
If you are looking for cheap lights, though, I'm not going to say this is like a be-all and end-all, but for anyone who is curious, these are the newer 176s, and this stand I have. Okay, here's the thing. Buying expensive light stands when you're just starting out is you're just getting scammed. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. This is $15. It holds the light, and it doesn't fall over. That's, I think, all you really need from a light stand. Yeah, you can get like fancy ones you can move around and stuff, but if you're just doing like seated stuff like this, you don't need it. You don't. You really don't.
You can start with that. I think there is a point. There is a point where you get bigger. So you first probably should see that your content is working, the way how you present the content, how you're making the content is working, and you see a little bit of traction. You see people are following you, people are subscribing you, they are commenting your videos, liking your videos. Then probably just continue doing what you do until you hit that 1K threshold, I would say. Like then you can apply for the YouTube ad program. And when you first get a paycheck, you probably can think about how you invest this money. And then you can think of, okay, so what is the most important part? That's the microphone. So you're going to invest into that first, then the light, then the camera, and then other stuff like maybe. So an investment I really don't regret is getting some templates and images and stock videos, stock photos for stuff, and that's also sometimes important. Always depending on the content you do, but I really like to have some overlays and some things that really make your videos look a bit better. You can invest into that, or making thumbnails, invest into graphic software if you want to do that. I mean, there are free open source softwares also available that are pretty good.
I do everything in GIMP. It's just a pain.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably... I don't like the workflow of GIMP, because I just started with Photoshop, and then I took a look at GIMP. Yeah, and if you
know Photoshop, I don't know Photoshop, so...
Yeah, it's like... it completely depends. So which software works best for you, just use it. But for example, I like to use Adobe software like Photoshop. And I just recently also got Premiere Pro for editing. And I just can say Premiere Pro made so many things easier for me because I had a kind of a low budget editing software before. That's working. Yeah, if you don't know how to use that editing software, you can use any cheap software that's working. But especially if you have background music, so I have a lot of background music in my videos because I just like that. I enjoy the flow. And I kind of like to do this audio ducking. So when I'm speaking, the music is not too loud. But when I play the intro, the music should become louder. So in my others in my low budget software, of course, I needed to adjust the audio levels every time.
Yeah.
On Premiere Pro, there's an automatic feature that does everything for you, right? That is with Audition. I watched a YouTube video about editing, and they kind of recommended this. So there are a few buttons you can click in Premiere Pro, and it's automatically ducking and adjusting all the audio levels to whatever you need. So if your microphone is too loud or not loud enough, Premiere Pro can automatically do this for you, and all this stuff like color grading. And there's a lot of things like transitions and things that are so much easier for me right now. So that's really helping me to edit the videos. But yeah, you need to find the right point. So I saw that. So when I hit the 1K subs, I thought about, okay, this is working, right? This is a proof that it works somehow. And I thought, okay, so then I need to take this and I need to somehow invest a little bit of money and probably making these videos better. So that's what I did. And I think this is not a bad idea. If you get something back, you can always take that money, or even then you can probably also take a little bit more and invest in advance if you see it's working, if you have a plan. But it's like it always should fit your audience. It also always should fit your size of the channel, because if you are a small YouTuber, a small channel, people are probably not expecting you to have that real big and fancy equipment. But at some point, people will, right? So I think especially when I will hit the 10K, that probably should happen in
I think you've already like
so.
outpaced most 10K channels with what you've got going on right now.
I have, yeah. I see that in the statistics. I don't know why.
No, I mean like in your production quality. Like I obviously haven't seen your statistics, but like production quality wise.
Yeah, even it's some channels even in growth. I see that in the statistic because I sometimes compare it because I'm researching a lot of other channels and see, okay, how many subs do they get in a month? And sometimes I even see 10K channels that gain less subscribers than I do. So I'm getting more subscribers per month. But it's like at some point people are expecting this production value. And I think that's because YouTube is around for such a long time. It's really saturated. A lot of people are producing really good quality videos, and that's what people are going to expect. And I think like I still think I'm not really good at this. I don't know why you say I'm outpacing most channels.
Well,
I don't really know.
Production quality wise, like you're definitely beating me with the way your setup looks right now, but that's also partially because I'm running a $10 capture stick. But
as I said, it's not the most important part, right? I mean,
of course,
it doesn't make your content better. So it's like you still need to do good content. But I think I always thought about this because when for example, I watch YouTube videos a lot. I'm expecting a good camera. I'm expecting a good microphone. Because if I watch a video and somebody doesn't have a good microphone, I close this video immediately. And I thought, okay, if I'm doing this, other people are doing this as well. So that's why I thought I need to take care of this, and this should be really good. So I try to make it as good as I can. And yeah, but that's I think people are really expecting this from YouTube content nowadays.
Yeah, that's I've noticed there's definitely a lot of people in the Linux world who don't really care about production quality wise. Like there's a few of them, but it seems to very much be few and far between. And let's have a look at your channel over on Social Play, and Jesus, that is going well right now. You're actually gaining more subs than I am a month, but you're also in a much bigger niche than I am, so that does sort of help as well. But wow, your
Yeah,
views and stuff are actually going up really quickly.
yeah. I think I'm not very satisfied with the last progression I did, but I think I definitely saw a difference since I implemented the new workflow for SEO and how I'm planning videos with some researching and analysis, and also thumbnails that I changed. So I definitely see there is something changed, and I think last time when I was here, we talked also about thumbnails.
Yes.
And
Yeah, your thumbnails have definitely changed a lot since then.
Yeah, I experimented a lot.
I can see
The thing that
yeah.
I think last time I said something like I wasn't really sure with how should I present myself. Should I put my face on these thumbnails or not? And my idea really finalized, I think, because I thought like if I put my face on a video, it should have some impression or it should do something. It shouldn't be just a face. Because that's telling nothing, right? It's probably presenting yourself, but that doesn't add any value. It doesn't create an emotion. It doesn't create any expectation or something like this. So it always should generate an expectation. And I think you're doing very well with your thumbnails because you're experimenting a lot with how you present yourself with some. I think you're doing some memes or some.
Yeah, I'm sort of trying out the like more memey thumbnails now. Not going as far as some other people, but
I think that works very, very well for your stuff and for the channel.
Okay.
I think people are liking this.
Here's one.
And that yeah, that is cool. Yeah. You are very creative. You're probably more creative than I am.
This just happens when I get very sleepy. I'm like, what? When I'm like wide awake, I have this like part of my brain that's like, no, that's really dumb. When I get sleepy, I'm like, no, that don't ignore that part of your brain. Just keep doing dumb things. And that's when the weirdest thumbnails come from.
Yeah, but this is also the reason why I said at the beginning your channel is both educational and entertainment. This entertainment part comes exactly from these things. And that's what people are liking. I think you probably have a lot of people in your audience watching your YouTube channel and watching this every day. And hey, what is this new thumbnail going to look like?
I definitely do have people that have been mentioning that.
Yeah, and you can see there's definitely a lot of value in producing this because I think that's the most important part because you're exactly delivering what those people want to see. And that's how you can satisfy your audience. That's very important on YouTube. And I think I kind of try to do the same with my thumbnails as trying to give an impression or an expectation of easy tutorials, for example. There's something that I like to do because people are liking those tutorials. And yeah, I thought I also have another idea or had other ideas for thumbnails. I'm not going to teaser it because they're going out in the next weeks or so. But you will definitely see what I try to achieve with the thumbnails because I want to have like a consistent way of designing them, but they shouldn't look all the same.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, you have a template, right?
Yeah, that's one of my problems. A lot of my thumbnails do end up, while I am doing different things in all of them, I feel like a lot of them do end up looking very similar. Maybe that's just me, because I make so many of them, but
I don't know if this is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it also could be an advantage. I don't really know how people would react if you change them a little bit. That is probably the thing that I would say, well, it's worth experimenting. Maybe just change one thumbnail completely and see how people are reacting to that. And if they say, oh, I liked your other thumbnails more, then you can switch it back. That's not a problem. But I kind of like to try out new things. That's what I do. I don't want to say you should do it. I mean, you probably
No,
know
I
better than
try
I.
stuff out as well. I tend to do it at a much slower pace than you do, where you will just completely uproot your existing thumbnail style and go with something completely different.
That is me. Yeah,
you went from okay. I'm just gonna show them on the screen right
you
now.
can
So,
take a look. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't change a single thumbnail afterwards, so
yeah. So
just leave them like they are.
so we have the ones with the blue background. Then after
That's
that,
the first one. Yeah.
then after that, you just had basically making the exact same face in every single thumbnail and maybe pointing
Yeah.
at something sometimes. Then we
Yeah.
went to the colored border ones. I actually did like those ones. Those actually were pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now it's the very poppy blue, and I do like the blue and purple. So that is one thing you do have going for you, where you actually do have like a consistent color scheme. So even though you don't really have a template, it still sort of, I guess, fits in with the general theme of your channel.
Yeah. I think that is very important because that is how I want to look my background. So you have the colors in the background as well. And I thought, well, if people are watching a video, so let's do an experiment. You're making a very professional thumbnail, like most tutorial videos do on YouTube. Like you have these. Sometimes I do tutorials about Docker or whatever. Yeah, professional software IT businesses use, for example. And I do a tutorial video. You have these professional thumbnails, that look like a presentation. If I make the same thumbnail like a presentation professional look, the people are clicking on this video and see this, a gaming background. They see what is that? There's a difference in what people are expecting and getting. And I thought my thumbnails should always provide the same expectation that the video is going to be, right? So I don't want to be the professional IT guy who is wearing a suit and presenting something, right? That's not who I am. I am this guy right now, right? With sometimes I play computer games. I like this RGB background, wearing hoodies and this stuff, right? And I'm doing IT stuff. That's what who I am, and I want to represent this in the thumbnails as well. And this is what I tried. So having a consistent color scheme and giving the people what they expect when they click on this video. I don't know if this is a good idea. As always, it may change in 2 months. My thumbnails are looking completely different. I don't know. Because I get very fast excited about something, but I also get bored of something very fast. So that may change, right? I'm always changing, and that's just who I am. So, but I think I like the idea. I like the way how the thumbnails look like, and I think I'm finalizing my design, especially also with my logo and new changes of backgrounds and graphics, because I like that. I'm also a creative person, right? I like to do things in Photoshop, and I'm probably not good at this, but I like to become better. So I like to always try to improve there. So that's why I made those thumbnails, or how I came up with this idea to change the thumbnails again. But I think now I have a very good, consistent way of creating these, and I just want to get better with this.
I've had a couple of people recently be like, "What's up with the colored backgrounds?" It's a very simple answer. I think it looks cool. That's the only reason. There's no deep meaning behind it. It looks cool. Look, if I turn these lights off, you have a bed behind me. Like, you at least have some cool things going on there, because you have like a yeah.
You need to make the best
that's a bed.
But yeah, I mean that's that all fits in together somehow. I mean, it always should fit with the content you're doing, the person who you are, and I think that's working well. That's why people liking you. I just recently had a discussion with someone reviewing a bigger tech channel. It's also a German tech channel, and he said like, well, these guys are doing great content out there, but I don't like these guys. They're pretty arrogant. So I think you could do it better. And I thought, like, I watched these videos and I thought, oh man, they have so high production value. They are so good videos. They're very professional. Over 50K subs. but this guy still likes the way how I present it more.
Mm-hmm.
That's not because my videos look better, because they just don't look better. They are just worse. Like you say, you can have a bad behind you. Yeah, that's. But that doesn't make a difference, because people like you because your personality. And if it fits all in together and people are getting the feeling, that relationship, I think that's so much more important than having a good audio setup, having a good camera, production value, whatever. And it always should fit, right? This is probably a thing that is the most important.
I think that's part of the reason why I put so much effort into like community interaction. Like I know there's a lot of people out there who run Discord servers who are just never in their Discord, and people who just never interact in their comment section. But I that's not the sort of person I am. I've just been using YouTube normally for the past like what 10, 15 years. Like I enjoy talking to people online. That's just what I do. So sort of,
Yeah,
I guess putting that energy out there, I think does really help sort of drive that similar vibe with the channel. And I've noticed there's a lot of people, when you do put out as like a certain type of energy, a lot of the people who end up getting like attracted to the content you make end up being very similar sort of people. Obviously there's other people as well, but the ones who are usually the most like active in the community are those ones who, at least in some respects, have like a similar sort of worldview you do.
Yeah, that's true. I can agree with that, definitely. I see the same in my community as well. As you said, yeah, community interaction is very important. I'm showing on my Discord often. I'm very active there. I answer questions on my Discord as well, or just having a discussion with the guys, because I think that's really important. And I just enjoy this, right? It's not like I'm making this because it helps my channel grow. This is just because I enjoy talking to people, and I think that's really important. People are going to notice it, and that's that personal relationship. That's also the reason why I enjoy doing live streams, because I think live streams really give the people something back, because you can provide a value. You can do some entertainment stuff or educational stuff on the live streams, but also have that interaction, that direct interaction with the community you usually don't have when you're making videos. So I think that's really important. Discord and live streams. That's
I think
really
the other nice thing about a live stream is it's a bit more down to earth, because I don't know about you, but I don't plan out my live streams because that's way too much effort. I have topics and maybe some talking points if things get very stale, but I don't plan out like 2 hours. That's insane. Some people do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. That's
really?
mental. Yeah, it's really weird.
So they're scripting or structurizing
They're
the live
like
streams?
structurizing, and they'll make it more like a TV show sort of format. I don't understand it.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I don't know if I could do this,
No,
because it's just too much time and effort. I tried to structurize the live streams the first time, and I thought, well, oh man, this is just too much work. So and then I did something very crazy, because I didn't select a topic. I didn't select anything. I just did like, okay, here's a Q&A. Just talk about random IT stuff, and I went live.
Yeah, those.
And then
I've done a couple of those.
pretty well.
They're fun. Yeah,
they're fun. They work very well, because people, if you have an audience and you get at least like 10, 15 viewers, people are going to write something in the chat. You can react to that, and you have that natural progression, that natural flow in a live stream that works very well. But that's something I struggled on Twitch, especially because when you have less than 10 viewers, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
but if you have like 10, 15 viewers, you can definitely do this, because people are going and chatting with you about things, and you can just react and just talk about this specific topic. That worked very, very well, and this also makes the most fun, I think.
But the other
because sometimes people come up with very funny and crazy ideas, and you want to step into this then.
What I was saying was that one of the nice things about a live stream, because as I was saying, I don't plan it, is that you get a bit more like a down to earth way of how the person actually really acts. Because sure, you can come off as like a likable person during a video, but obviously I don't act entirely like I do in a video all the time, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to say all the time, and it's a bit more like an actual conversation you're having with your audience rather than just I'm explaining this topic to them. And I do
true,
really
yeah.
enjoy that. And then you get extra things like once you've been live streaming for a while, then your audience starts to know a bit about you. For example, like I'm learning Japanese right now, and there are people in my comment section who will frequently try to troll me and get me to read things out because they know I'm not very good at it, and I'll catch them like halfway through it, like, no, I'm not saying that. It's not happening, mate. Don't try that again.
Yeah, that's funny, but
You get
that's
fun things like that
yeah.
happening, which just couldn't really happen in just a
exactly.
regular video.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. So I'm also liking these live streams. And what would you say? But you're still a YouTuber or a streamer?
I stream 3 times a week at most, so I guess if I didn't make any videos, that would technically be enough to be a streamer. But I don't know. I think my main focus is still doing the regular videos. I don't know if I'd call myself a YouTuber because I don't really like being tied to the specific platform. Because I think my channel's actually bigger over on Odyssey anyway. But
oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's for me, it's completely the other way around.
Well, I was also one of the
probably. Sorry, just go ahead.
I was saying that I also joined like basically just before it took off, so I sort of rode the wave up.
Yeah, that's probably the thing that is hard, especially when you're starting on Odyssey or library, because that was the first thing the first complaint about I always have about library, Odyssey, whatever you call it, that there is like zero organic growth on this platform.
It's better than it was before, but it still needs a lot of work. It's not as bad as Twitch. Twitch is much worse, where it orders by number of viewers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, so it's better than Twitch, but compared to a platform like YouTube,
yeah, or TikTok even.
TikTok's
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just because of the algorithm, for sure. I mean, that's true. So Odyssey has this support thing, right? If you're supporting a channel, that's pushing the video up. But I think with this system, it's nearly impossible for new guys that are not part of a community to show up in the feed. And so that's not really rewarding new creators. And I think this is something they need to fix. I'm saying this since the last year, probably since I started with this platform, because I had no community. And then I started to show in what was it, Librarynomics community, also German library community, but I'm not very active there because I see my channel is actually growing more on YouTube, so I probably focus there more. I like the idea of Odyssey and library, and I think like where I started before Odyssey was released.
Yeah, so Odyssey is basically just like another interface for library.
Yeah, exactly. I think Odyssey made things a lot better. So that's really good improvement overall. But I think it's still lacking some very important features of other social media platforms. So I know they are working on this, and I kind of like this. But I think I don't really know. Maybe I don't. The problem I have is really because they don't have an algorithm and this support system. This is really the part that I completely don't like. Because it's really hard for new people to get up to speed to get watched in the feed. And it's really, I don't even understand how the system works, because if I make videos on Library Odyssey...
I was going to say, they've made it a bit more transparent now. It's just that we still do have the exact same problem where the support system is broken. It's just like, now you actually know how much your support is actually affecting a video, which is definitely an improvement.
Okay, yeah, that is good. Yeah, because I think that transparency is very important if you have this open platform, because it was already a thing that I criticized, because it's like it's not really easy to get started with that. Odyssey brought a lot of improvements to that, obviously. But yeah, I still think it's hard for new people to get started with that. I even don't know how it works to create videos that are showing off in the categories on the left side. Because when I upload a video or I make a video, on the left side and I click on tag, none of my videos is showing up there. No, there's no video. and I don't know why, right? And I also think, for me personally, it's not really a platform that I enjoy watching because I click on these categories like tech, and there's content all over the place, but it is not really a clear structure. There's not really a clear topic that I'm interested in, right? And I cannot even show it to the platform somehow, right? Like we discussed about TikTok and YouTube, when you're watching a few videos, the algorithm is going to recognize what you like to watch and they're recommending the right videos. This is not happening on Odyssey. And this is, for me personally, a bit like I need to scroll through pages and pages to find videos that I enjoy watching, so I can better do this.
It sort of feels
on
more
YouTube.
like the early days of YouTube, where there was technically a recommended, but it's more like we'll recommend like what was uploaded recently or anything like that, or we'll recommend based on a regex of the name. And that's sort of what it feels like to be on what it feels like to be on Odyssey right now. I definitely understand those complaints. I've had a lot of similar ones to those as well, but I don't know what's really going to be done in the algorithm front, because there is a lot of people who use the platform specifically for the reason that it doesn't do that. But
yeah, exactly. That is also a thing that I wanted to mention, and I think they already have a really I found something like I don't really. How can I say this? It's not really easy to talk about this, but I would say they really need to be very, very careful to find the right balance between decentralized and centralized content. And I think they already have done a lot of, how can you say this? I'm searching for the right words. Compromise between decentralized and centralized content, because of course they want to offer some features that people are going to expect from a platform like this, like a dislike button, a comment section, and all this stuff. But most of this stuff is running, I think, on their centralized servers because they need to offer these features, right? So they really need to be careful what they centralized and what they not centralized, because most of the people who are watching or using this platform are using this platform for the reason that it's decentralized. And it also gives the people the wrong impression if you create a platform that says we are a decentralized platform, but like 80-90% is centralized. It wouldn't make any sense at all. So I think with an algorithm, they would need to store the data somewhere of the people, what they watched, how long they watched, what they enjoy watching. And as you said, most people are using Odyssey or Library for the reason that they don't do this. So it's really hard to find a good compromise between making this platform enjoyable to watch, but still respect the people's privacy. So I think this is really a hard challenge. I don't even think that they can find a perfect solution, because there probably is no perfect solution to this. So I don't know where this platform will go. So that's really, but it's interesting to see what will happen the next years. So
the way they're sort of approaching it right now is that Odyssey is where they're doing a lot more of the centralized stuff, and then Library is more decentralized. That's at least the direction they're going right now. So that's why we have things like the categories on Odyssey. That's why we have things like a bunch of... They're actually working on transcoding for Odyssey as well, which is something that really needs to be introduced very soon. Live streaming is also being worked on, things like that.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I would really like to contribute or do some live streams on Odyssey just to try it out and see how it works. And I think it would be nice if they would implement something like a switch. So make this a user choice. So the user can select, hey, I want to store my data on this platform because I want to get recommended videos. So like an opt-in, so that people can
they already
select,
have a system like that, but obviously they're not doing it for an algorithm right now, but they already do have a thing where you can opt in to share data to like improve the platform, things like that. So it would just be basically an extra box.
Yeah, if that would be like an opt-in for an algorithm, I probably would use it. So I would opt in, because I think they can have the data, videos that I watch. So I don't care about a platform having this data. I really like the benefit of the recommended feed, right? So that would be a feature that I would really like to see, and then I probably would use the platform more than I do right now. And I think having this an opt-in would probably be the perfect solution, because then it's easy and transparent for everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not part of a developer's team or so, but I think they are probably working on this or kind of analyzing these ideas, because they're improving pretty well and pretty fast. So they are introducing new features pretty fast. If I compare this to other platforms or even companies I work on, when they are introducing new features, this can take years and years. Usually, if YouTube implements something like YouTube Shorts, this is not like a YouTube engineer thought, oh, we could maybe try this, and then the next week it gets uploaded, right? This is usually a progress that takes months and years sometimes to finalize and go through this development process and business decisions. And I think Odyssey and Library is evolving pretty fast. So they are. That's probably the advantage they have, that they are not really a $1 billion company with a lot of hierarchy structure. So I think they are still developers and doing these things. So that's a good idea. And yeah, I hope this platform will be improved. And I would really love to see live streaming. So that would be really, really interesting.
Well, I need to get I do know one of the main devs from Library, and also I'm being followed by the CEO of Library as well. I should get them both on the podcast. I think that would be a lot of fun, because I know Jeremy is very, very happy to go on podcasts, so I have a feeling he'll be more than happy to come on mine. But yeah, I have a lot of the same sort of concerns about the way it's going. But yeah, I think we're still waiting for the roadmap for 2021, which is a bit late this year. Usually it's out by the end of the first quarter. I don't know what the deal with that one is. But there was some pretty big improvements to the platform last year. Like, looking back, I kind of forget like how much has changed, but at the start of last year, we didn't have comment, we didn't have Odyssey, that didn't exist at all. We didn't have likes, we didn't even really have video embedding, that barely worked. There were a bunch of these basic features that just weren't there. Also, the platform was so much smaller. I think at this time last year, my channel had maybe 2,000 subscribers, and I think the biggest channel on the platform maybe had like 10 or 15.
Oh, that's crazy, yeah. So it is already a lot of improvement. You just need to compare this to bigger content platforms. Yeah. For example, compared to Twitch. It's crazy. Twitch takes like 1 year to implement a simple checkbox button for...
Well, Twitch still doesn't have basic things to do with like copyright, and they're just
the DMCA problem, all this stuff. It's crazy. But I kind of understand the problem, or I see this problem at other companies as well. Sometimes I don't know if you know what I'm working, but my main job is being a technical account manager in a cybersecurity company. So I'm working with enterprise businesses a lot. I'm somewhat involved in the development process because they are integrating our security products within their own services. And I sometimes see that in bigger companies as well, the problem with like creating new features, or that usually takes a long time. And I kind of understand this, because sometimes it's depending on different teams. They are all over the world, and some stakeholders are probably just, they don't care about this. It's always the same problems, especially in big enterprise companies. You see that a lot. And I kind of can understand the situation Twitch is in, because I see that from other companies as well. Most people just think hey, why do they take so long to implement a simple checkbox button? I can do this in 5 minutes, right?
The problem I have with Twitch, with especially with the DMCA thing, is they knew this was coming. That the other problems, sure, I can understand that, but the DMCA problem, that was inexcusable, because they've known this was coming for the past 5 years since YouTube last got hit with it, and they didn't do anything to help people out. It's just like, well, delete your clips, it's fine.
Yeah, I think It's just an assumption. As I said, I don't have any insights, but my assumption is that this is always a business and a money decision.
Of course, yeah.
They say, okay, it would cost so much dollars to implement a new feature. And as if you watch some of the Twitch streams, their CEO was like, we don't like automating stuff. We all want to make it by a real person. There was a quote on somewhere.
There was one problem that really should have been dealt with Twitch, though, that actually is inexcusable. That deleted videos were still being stored on a public AWS server. So even if you deleted all your clips anyway, it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's funny, right? I mean, there are a lot of problems. That's people are seeing this, and I think the main problem probably with the DMCA was like, this is just my assumption, but probably they were aware of it, that it would be an issue at some time, but they were saying like, well, it costs us so much money to implement this, and we don't have the budget.
Yeah, they're also owned by Amazon, and Amazon isn't exactly seeing Twitch as much of a moneymaker.
No, of course not. They are just very small, right? And they're and you have a company that makes like, I don't really know how much revenue they make, but maybe a few percentage of revenue of Amazon, and they want to have a few million dollars for implementing a DMCA feature, which is not really a problem at this point. And Amazon is going to say, do we really need this? And they probably were aware of this, but they say, okay, we probably can deal with that if it becomes a problem, and maybe even paying something back is not as much money or trouble as implementing something. There's always you need to compare this, and I think in those companies, those decisions are made by those people who were just trying to figure out which is the cheapest way of doing this. Probably they can get away with this, or they can say like, okay, well, we already have bought a third-party application solution that does something like a content ID system. Probably it's not great, but we can somehow argue that it's working or whatever. I don't really know the decisions behind that, but I think if you've gone back to the topic with Library and Odyssey, if you compare this, like how long a company like Twitch take to implement something compared to Library and Odyssey, I think Library and Odyssey is still in a very good shape, evolving. So that was my whole point to this, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. That was a very long tangent to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting to think about what could go on behind the scenes, right? Even if you probably don't have any insights, but you can make an assumption. And we will never know who made this decision or if this is true or not. But it's funny to think about it, I would say.
Now, I don't know how much you've sort of experimented with this, but I'm right now kind of completely shifting my schedule, because I've found that the way I've been doing stuff up until this point was recording videos at the start of the week, planning stuff towards the end, and then, going to the weekend after that. I found that when I plan most of my videos towards the end of the week, I end up, because I don't really have much else to do, the time it takes sort of expands into as much space as available. So I'm sort of shifting around my schedule right now. How much have you sort of played around with that, or do you want to get yourself into like a schedule works and then just kind of stick with that?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I'm always adjusting that. So it's based on the day where I publish the content. It's different for you because you're publishing every day. But I'm publishing the video on Monday. And so that means I need to finish this video on Friday. Right. Because on the weekend, I don't want to work.
Sure.
So I could do, but I don't want. So that's like, I need to finish it till Friday. So I usually just start making the video. But I also produce videos in advance. So sometimes I think of like, I want to take 1 week off making videos. So I'm going to produce just 2 videos in a week. And so I can. So I'm kind of always adjusting this based on stuff that I need to do at work. For example, if I have a stressed week and I need to jump on a lot of meetings or so, I'm not really researching too much for a video or so. I just I'm doing or producing videos in advance, like 2 weeks. That works very well, because then I feel comfortable with just skipping 1 week of producing videos, and I'm still in schedule. So that's how it works for me. And yeah, that's what I try. But I don't have like fixed days in the week where I produce videos.
Okay.
It's always adjusted. The problem I have is, and I recently adjusted this a lot in my workflow, is that the problem I have is I can get very excited about something, but really fast bored about something as well. So, and I just heard an advice from somebody on a YouTube channel who's doing these business videos and how to manage your time and all this stuff, right? And he said, like, there are different types of people. So there are 3 different types. The one type is you can sit for 8 hours and focus on a very specific topic. And for these people, it works out very well to have a long scheduled workflow, like really focused sessions. But there are also other people who are just like me, who can get very excited and very bored pretty fast. And it just doesn't work to focus on a topic for more than 1 hour or 2 hours, maybe. And since I realized that, it took me some years to realize it, because I always thought there's something wrong with me, that I can't sit on a task for a longer time and focus on a topic. I thought something is wrong with me, right? But then I heard this advice, and it's just like people are different, right? And then I thought, okay, I probably need to break it up into smaller sections. So I plan my day like I have 1 hour. I do research on a video, then I do something completely different. Yeah, sometimes I work on a complete different topic. Then I'm designing a thumbnail for 1 hour, and then I go back to video editing or so. I always switch around, because that is the only thing that keeps me motivated and keeps me focused on something. And
that would drive me insane. I'm the sort of person, like, some days I'll like forget to eat lunch. Like, oh wait, it's 2 o'clock now. I should go do that. Because I'm very much the sort of person who, I'm like, okay, I have, for example, when I record videos, I record 4 videos in a row. I just do it in a block like that.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't know, but you said you were in university. That's probably. Isn't that the same system? Like you really focused for hours and hours on a single topic?
Well, you usually obviously have different classes, but whenever I do assignments, I'm the sort of person, like, if I'm like, say for example, I have maybe an essay due and a, I don't know, programming assignment, I will in some cases just work on one of the assignments until it is done. And that's, I don't feel like if I do something for like an hour block, I feel like I'm not getting anything done on anything, because it always feels like for me like that extra minute of setup time is something I could have been spending on just like an extra minute in my 8-hour block of it. Even though like I get the benefit of breaking it up into chunks, because even with like doing these massive blocks, you will hit a point where you sort of, I guess, end up wasting more time. But I don't know. I that's something I do need to work on, actually keeping myself on task. I've tried doing things here and there. It's just I sort of give up with the things I'm trying very quickly. But I tend to find that if I can stay on focus or stay on task and not let myself get distracted by something, that's usually the times that I end up getting just the most work done. Like with my thumbnails, for example, like I make all of my thumbnails usually in a day. So I will take all of the pictures, I will edit all of them. That's what, 6 or 7 thumbnails just done in a row. I usually don't get them all done, but I try to work on nothing but that one task until, I think usually the point when I end up swapping something is, I find that like when I have to eat something, that's like a good time to reset. So like, okay, I do something from say like breakfast to lunch, and then lunch to sometimes I make it to dinner, but maybe I'll have like a walk. I'll go for a walk in the middle of it, and that's usually a good point to break off as well. But the hour chunks just I doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, if it's working for you, that's awesome. But I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's very depending on the type of person you are. And that's very interesting, because first when I was in school, it was a really big problem for me to focus on things because our system is not made for people like me or for this type of working or focusing, right? And that's a big problem. Usually, you have problems in school or so, or focus on a thing for longer than 1 or 2 hours. But when I realized, okay, I can make use of this way, I just need to change the way how I work. Yeah, that really made a big improvement, and I'm also happier with this, right? Because otherwise it's frustrating to work like to sit 2 or 3 hours and you can't focus. You're always getting distracted by something, and you think like, I don't want to do this, but I should focus on this because I've set this schedule. So because I read something on social media or on forums that is say, hey, this is how you should organize your time, right? There are a lot of different systems how you could do this, but it's like I don't like of getting a general advice because I think you need to find the system that works for you and that fits to your personal personality and your personal way of focus and engagement, and that's different for people, and that's really interesting.
Yeah,
So I am. It works very well with this schedule for me, but yeah, it may not work for you or for any other people. That's fine. Yeah,
the thing that I found is that like because I'll record those like 4 videos in a row. A lot of days I will wake up and I'm like, I don't want to record any videos today. But what I've found is that if I do it for like 5 or 10 minutes, then I'm usually like ready to just keep working through the rest of it. Like it's usually that like first bit of motivation at the start where it's kind of difficult to do. If you force yourself over that step, this is really true for anything else, like going to the gym, anything like that. If you make yourself do it for a couple of minutes, you'll usually just push your like all the way through to the end of it.
Yeah, okay, I got that. And that's different for me because I also have that. So the first 5-10 minutes I need to force myself to do something. And then it works for like an hour or 2.
Yeah.
But after 2 hours, definitely I can say then it's enough for me. It's the same for computer games. Surprisingly, this changed because like when I was 16, 20, I could play for 8-9 hours World of Warcraft.
I know the feeling.
I did.
I can't do that anymore either.
So, yeah, me too. So that doesn't work. I can play computer games for 1.5 hours, and then it's enough. I need to close the game because I am finished. And that changed. I don't really know. It's probably the age, getting older or so, or maybe this is something changed, like how I can focus myself. I don't really know, but that's really different.
Yeah, if I'm playing by myself, I find I can maybe do 2 hours at most. It's a bit different with a stream because usually I have like there's people chatting with me there, so it's not exactly like solid. Like I think I did the other day like a 4-hour game stream, but it wasn't exactly a solid 4 hours of gaming because halfway through it like turns into like a half Q&A sort of thing.
Okay.
So while I am,
you can.
The game's there sort of like as background music or like distracting my hands, but I'm not exactly paying full attention to it. I'm also paying attention to chat as well.
Yeah, that's true. I also tried that to do on Twitch, like a random game stream, and that was also the case. So I tried to play Warcraft free because that's a game I really enjoy. But it's like when doing a stream, you need to take care of the chat, you need to take care of the game. That's nothing that works. It's a really stressful game, because it's an RTS game, and then if you have a conversation, that's not going to work. So I'm definitely not a good game streamer.
No, I think the sort of games that work on Twitch are ones where you can actually take your focus away from it. So right now I'm playing Doom 2016, and that's not exactly a game where you can take your focus away from because you will die instantly. But I sort of get why like Minecraft streams work, for example, because Minecraft is a game where you can like turn your brain off. You don't have to pay attention to much that's going on.
That's interesting, yeah. I'm kind of having the same idea with Diablo 4 when it comes out. Or Diablo Immortal even. I don't really know. But maybe this would be a time for me to just
maybe not on the highest difficulty. That probably wouldn't go well for Diablo.
No, not on the highest difficulty, but just go slay some monsters and just brain off and having a discussion with the chat. So that probably would work. I don't know. So I'm waiting looking forward to this release. So I hope. But yeah, it's Blizzard, so it will take a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can prepare to become a professional streamer before I'm doing this.
Get yourself to the point where you can actually like, even if there is no chat, just keep the imaginary chat entertained. I think that actually is a problem that a lot of streamers do sort of have, where they will start streaming before they make content. Like, we sort of have a bit of an advantage there, where we have an existing audience from our videos. If you start with like a completely blank chat, a lot of people don't really know what to do to actually keep the stream entertaining, because they'll see a lot of these big streamers who a lot of their content is very much generated from the chat being there, so they're not really sure how to actually approach it without a chat.
Yeah, that's really difficult, and I don't know how you should do this. The only idea I have is when I would do a game stream. So I played through this because I really thought about making a game stream, right? And then I decided to not do it. But my idea was like, okay, if I want to be competitive with other game streamers, I don't have an audience who plays a specific game. I don't have anything. I need to start from zero.
Well, whether it's a game stream or any other kind of stream, I think people still sort of suffer with the way they structure a stream.
Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, so I think the only way how you can do this is do something on top of the stream. So creating something, do some videos, and it doesn't really matter if these are YouTube videos or TikTok videos. I think that I somehow heard from a lot of people that clips from a game don't work anymore because they are too saturated. So like just people had this idea, and that probably worked like a few years ago, like doing streams and then clip some interesting sections and just do a video around this. I think that doesn't work anymore. So you need to do some on top of this. And the best idea that I think would really work well is creating tutorial videos for a specific game you want to play and really focus on this on YouTube. And it's like, I heard that from some game streamers on podcasts and so on, that worked. Like they pick a game that is not highly saturated, but there's still an audience that plays it, and just do a tutorial. For example, if this is an RPG, there is a quest that you don't know where to go or something like this. Create a short YouTube video. This probably can just take a few, like 2 or 3 minutes, but you have some kind of content that is discoverable by somebody. And you can also do something like, hey, I also do this game streaming. People are watching this video saying, oh, this guy looks nice. I probably step into his live stream, and then it probably gets some traction, because otherwise, if you have 0 viewers on Twitch, it's really hard to grow. It didn't work for me, and probably because I didn't focus too much on it and I was not streaming enough on Twitch. Maybe this will be the reason, and I probably would need to invest more time into this. But I decided to not do this because it doesn't make sense for me. But if you really would want to do this, I think you really need to commit these days to be competitive. I mean, if you just watch the statistics, how many streamers on Twitch have more than like 40 or 50
viewers? I think if you're above 50 viewers consecutive, you're like a big streamer on Twitch.
Yeah, and these are just like under 1% of streamers. Just imagine this, right? It's crazy to stand out. It's really difficult. It's nearly impossible.
Yeah,
and of course, the problem with that is you only hear success stories from people, like, right? If you're watching YouTube videos about this, you only hear from people that have done it, right? Who are successful. Hey, I made this. I blew up on YouTube, on Twitch. You only hear those success stories, but you don't hear all the people that who failed, right? And that gives you the wrong impression, that a wrong expectation that you could also do that pretty easily because these guys have done it before, right? I mean, that's pretty dangerous. Yeah. So I think it's really, it's not that easy. It's very difficult, especially on Twitch.
The way that I've seen a lot of streamers handling it now, rather than making separate content for their channel, what they'll basically do is just make their video live. So people like Ludwig, for example, he's done a couple of like poker streams and other things like that. He's a very variety streamer who'll do like basically anything. he basically just makes a YouTube video, but live streams making it. So structures the live stream in a way where that would actually function. And then obviously you'd have to cut out bits where it doesn't make sense for the YouTube video. And then at the end of it, you basically just have a YouTube video.
Yeah, that probably could work. So
it also gives you like a constant, I guess, moving topic of what the stream is, rather than just being like, hey, I am a boring streamer. I'm going to play a video game and not say anything for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, probably can do this. I saw that from other streamers as well. They are clipping some interesting parts of their live streams and uploading this to YouTube. So this probably would work if you have a specific topic and you have very good and interesting parts in your live stream. I also did that.
For example, with that tutorial idea you were saying, you could sort of make a tutorial while you're actually like live streaming.
That would be really cool. That would be nice because it also gives somebody the idea how a live stream would look like. And then they want to see it. I did something similar for the IT trends video 2021 I did, because I had 3 IT trends that I kind of wanted to tell people that I see will become very important in IT industry. And one section was a clip of a co-stream where I interviewed somebody who is a developer advocate and DevOps engineer. And there I just said, okay, DevOps will be a big IT trend in 2021. We need to focus and learn this. So, and then I played some parts of that live stream, because then I thought, okay, that would be interesting for people to see how those co-stream and live stream work. So they probably see that and, maybe I could jump into the next live stream or so.
Yeah,
that was my idea, right? And I think that would also work for other live streams as well, like game streaming or whatever.
One of the things I have noticed with the making videos live thing is when like people sort of start to anticipate the video being made. So when like say Ludwig, for example, does his intro for a YouTube video during the live stream, you see the chat just going absolutely insane, like, hey YouTube, how's it going, everyone? So you
they know
like
what's coming,
get the people who are watching the channel actually sort of involved in making the video as well.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a nice idea. I need to write this down. Because that's really cool. Because then everybody knows, okay, he's now making a video. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to the new clipping feature YouTube will introduce. So I'm really waiting for this, because this would be awesome. Do you know that?
No.
I think they have some kind like a preview. So there's one specific video that has enabled clipping. So you can, and they will release it soon. I had a chat with YouTube support about this because I thought, maybe they could enable this for my channel, but they didn't. So they're waiting for the public release, of course. But I thought, well, just try.
Yeah.
And but when it will be publicly released, I don't know when, but it should be pretty soon. You can just go to a YouTube video and clip it, and everybody can do that. Not just you as a creator. Everybody who is watching
similar
the
to
video.
Twitch does then.
Oh yeah, it's similar to Twitch, but it's better because it's not lagging. So it's working pretty smooth and fast. And I thought this will be a perfect feature for me and for my live streams, because I do a lot of live streaming where I also talk about some interesting topics, and I just want to have a feature that clips something and creates a video out of this. So you can actually create this clip and share this clip. And people can also then get the direct link to the video when they want to watch the full recording. And when you unlist the video, I think the clip is also unlisted. So you can still access it with a link. So that's really cool. So I'm really waiting for this feature, because that would give us more opportunities to make live streams more interesting and engaging. It's just like the YouTube Shorts. So you can see there are a lot of interesting features. I'm really waiting for this clipping feature. It will be really cool. I think you can even try it out. So when you just Google for YouTube clipping feature, you probably can get to this preview video where you can try it out yourself. That's very interesting.
Awesome. Yeah, while YouTube does certainly have a much bigger audience than Twitch does, they have very much been lacking in like the live stream features, because Twitch has like Twitch bits and all of this other like the Twitch raids and hosting and things like this, which just don't really exist on YouTube at this point. They have sort of caught up with like super chats and having like custom emotes, but they're still very much behind where Twitch is in like specifically just the live streaming sense. So adding things like that would actually be really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely coming because I think they see the potential in live streaming, and I also think that people will enjoy watching live streams more. That's a thing that will probably improve in the future. That I think that is. I think it's definitely worth looking at this. And I thought my idea was like first I probably go to Twitch because they have the better features. Yeah, that was the reason behind this. But then I also thought about it's hard to convince a tech or a YouTube viewer who's interested in tech content to switch to a platform like Twitch where there's a lot of gaming on. And that is every Twitch streamer is recommending this, like create YouTube videos and move them over to Twitch. And that's working for them because they're doing gaming, right? I mean, there's a natural flow that someone who's watching a gaming YouTube video is coming to a gaming streaming platform like Twitch. But for tech content, I think this is very different. So it's really hard to convince somebody who's watching YouTube for tech tutorials moving to a game streaming platform like Twitch. So I think this is a reason why it didn't work for me. And this is why I decided, okay, my audience is on YouTube, so I should also stream on YouTube. Because on Twitch, I'm not able to reach my audience. So, and that decision was definitely a good decision, I think. And I see that YouTube is coming with a lot of interesting features. So I'm also working on a membership program on my YouTube channel. There you can create some cool emojis and loyalty badges. People can also see in the live stream, and they can use the emojis in the live stream and in the comments. So that's pretty cool. And I see that they're creating a good ecosystem for live streaming content. And I think that's going to improve. And Twitch is, I think Twitch is already there where they want to be. I don't know if they are still growing. I think they are still growing a bit, but I see more potential in other platforms to grow than Twitch. So it probably, for us as a tech streamer or tech YouTuber, I would definitely choose YouTube over Twitch as a streaming platform. That's just my decision now. I think that makes more sense.
The way I go about it is I restream, so I'm in both places anyway.
Okay, yeah, that will work. But on Twitch, there's also the problem if you're doing restreaming, you can't become a Twitch affiliate.
Oh yeah, affiliate, yeah, sorry.
Affiliate as well.
Yeah.
So that's a problem because I'm already a Twitch affiliate. I can't do restreaming anymore. Right. I didn't know that before applying to this program, and I thought, but as Twitch doesn't have any discoverability at all, I think there's really just a very small group of people that would discover you on Twitch and then go over to YouTube. That's not going to work.
Well, I think this is as good a time as any to end the podcast because it's, what is it?
Oh yeah, you have a long time, right?
I want to have some dinner at some point.
Oh yeah, me too. But it was a lot of fun, so I really enjoy.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun as well.
The podcast.
So, as with last time, do you have a channel that you think deserves a bit of attention?
Oh man, I completely forgot about this. give me 1 minute.
Perfect. Go that makes it better.
My following channels, and then I will go over some. So what are the channels that I'm featuring?
I'm gonna. I don't have enough. I don't actually plan my answer either.
Yeah, so I definitely want to feature one channel on YouTube that deserves a bit more audience. That is MacLeod, and the channel is called. Oh, he changed his channel name from DevOps. Cloud Dev Engineering was his old channel, and he changed it to MacLeod. So you can find it with the username Cloud Dev Engineering. I put it in.
Dev Engineering.
I put it in the Discord chat.
I have a good understanding of, a good idea of why he changed that name, because that is a very difficult name to search for.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this guy is really awesome. He makes a lot of great videos and tutorials around DevOps topics. So really advanced stuff. last video was about machine learning in Microsoft Azure. He also does a lot of Kubernetes and Terraform videos. So for anyone who wants to get started with DevOps, this is the guy you should be watching because he's really knowledgeable. He also creates a lot of courses on a platform. And yeah, he's making great videos. Also, all project hands-on based, so you can really get an idea of what it looks like to develop stuff or deploy something on a cloud environment and do DevOps processes. So that's really, really awesome. Definitely. He needs to hit the 1K soon, definitely. So
yeah,
you should help him.
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I should have looked at mine before. What was his... give me a second. I'll see if I can find it. I can't remember what his actual YouTube account is. I can't remember what his Twitter is, though. There it is.
Yeah, Twitter should also be in the about section. Yeah, in the about section, there's a link to his Twitter.
And he doesn't have a link to his main account. Oh, does he have a link? There we go. Here's a link to his main account.
Hello.
Oh, God. That was loud. This is a channel here called The Real Geek. He does, general sort of Linuxy videos. So he's got one in here called like, is Windows really that slow and badly optimized? And it's a lot of the, a lot more of the, I guess, discussion-y videos. He's got one about like his favorite Windows releases. Should Linux be political? Is Linux difficult to learn? And he just does, rather than like what I do, where it's very much getting down and dirty with like the software, it's more like a lot more opinion sort of content.
Oh yeah, this guy is also awesome. Really nice. Yeah, I think he hit 1K in the last weeks or so. Yeah, he's also active on my Discord community. So this guy's really awesome. I enjoy watching his channel.
I tried to get in contact with him over email. He never responded, so I'm gonna message him on Twitter. I want to get him on the podcast. Or I can do that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Because he's following me on Twitter, so I'll DM him.
Yeah, DM him. I'll ping him in Discord and say you should
read your
jump
emails.
on the podcast. Read your emails.
I'll send him a message on Twitter, see if he responds. And if not, I'll bother him in your Discord. That'll work.
Nice. Cool. That was a fun episode, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun as well.
We had too many topics, right? It was all over the place.
I didn't hit on half the topics that I have. I got so much more in here right now.
Okay, so there is an opportunity for a next podcast with me.
Absolutely. Maybe in I don't know, September or something. That would work out. It was September last time, September next time, sure.
I hope I will be at 10K, then I have something to tell.
Well, you're growing quite quickly, so hey. My only goal right now is I hope to be at 15K by my birthday, which is April 9th.
That would be awesome.
So that would be pretty cool.
But I think, yeah. But yeah, you definitely will make it, right?
I'm on track right now. I think it might be a couple of days early.
Awesome.
Cool. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, obviously on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So I don't know
if
it
all
you
just
have
the digital life.
On Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, it is a Christian_TDL.
Okay, cool. I'll have links to all of that down below anyway. So, yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Great.
Okay, before we go, I would like to thank my supporters. So a special thank you to Chris, Joachim, Donald, Michael, Andre, Nathan, David, Monster, Will, Brennan, Chico Bento, Jamie Joseph, Mitchell Peter, Stephen, Tony Tushar, and all of the $2 supporters. If you'd like to go support my work, there'll be some links down below to all of that sort of stuff. I've got this podcast being released on Library and Odyssey if you want to watch the video version, and if you want to watch the audio version, it's available basically anywhere. If you can search the words tech over tea in a search engine, you'll probably find it. It's pretty easy to find. There is a blog called Tech Over Tea. They're not me. That's a different Tech Over Tea. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Then I've got a main channel. I do Linuxy stuff, and you probably know that because that's where most of my audience comes from. Cool. Got anything else to say?
Not really. Thanks for inviting me.
No worries, man.
So, thanks for watching, everybody. And
yeah, thank you guys for watching. I enjoyed this episode. I'll bring him back on the show again. It will be another fun episode.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Cool. Talk to you guys later.